So,
the Republicans cave in way too much to immigrants. Instead of standing firm, standing their ground, they're always wanting to cross the aisle. John McCain wanted to cross the aisle. You don't see liberals doing that. They stand up for what they believe in, and Republicans should do the same thing. And the government wants us to cut back, but are they? Is Obama cutting back with his $150 a pound Kobe beef that he has in the White House? With his parties, with his jet flights all over, taking Michelle out for date night? This man spends more money probably in a day than most families spend in a year.
Yeah. And
They want us to cut back, but they don't.
It sure makes it tough for us guys and with our wives. We can't take our wives out like that, that's for sure.
And you know, the liberals will tell us who our next president will be, the one they're most afraid of.
We'll see what happens. And I hope that this time people don't allow our party to be co-opted and allow crossover votes also to select our candidate. I want to encourage you, though, with what's reality in Washington right now. I'm not there, but I keep track of what's going on. Michelle Bachmann, you know Michelle. Michelle and her husband and Sue and myself were the closest friends in Washington. Still remain very close. Michelle's not backing away. But I can tell you there are about 130 other Republican members of the House Republican Conference that are just as strong and committed as Michelle. Not as feisty and not as pretty. Most of them are male. But guys like Paul Ryan from Wisconsin, who's a locker mate of mine down in the congressional gym. Solid guy, all the right values. Peter Roskin, a wonderful representative who took Henry Hyde's seat on the west side of Chicago. His daughter goes to Hillsdale College. Joe Pitts from Pennsylvania. Traditional values, moral guy, wonderful guy. Louis Gohmert from Texas. Jeb Hensarling from Texas. And I could go on with names. In Michigan, you need to know that the majority of our Republicans, like Mike Rogers, like Dave Camp, are standing firm and strong. And of course, Pete Hoekstra, who will be leaving our delegation, whether he wins or loses for governor, is still standing strong, overwhelmingly consistent. And I think the Republicans right now, from what I can tell, have chosen not to do a contract with America because they don't think they've earned the right to do that yet. They don't think they've earned the trust of the American people yet. But you got to remember that there wasn't, now let me finish this one. You got to remember that not one Republican voted for the stimulus. Not one Republican voted for the Pelosi budget. Not one Republican voted for the health care plan. 6 of them went wrong and voted for the cap and trade. But only one of those, if the vote were held again, would vote for it. That's Mary Bono from California. The rest of them, Mark Kirk told me, Mark's running for Obama's Senate seat from Illinois. And Mark voted for it. And he said after 1 week of July 4th parades last July, not just last week, but last July after the vote, I was beat about the head so much over the parades, I spent the rest of my vacation in a fetal position. I would not vote for it again. And that's the power of the constituency. But I think we need to also know there's encouraging growth in the Republican Party and the overwhelming majority of the conference that are true conservatives. Now the mainstream media will not tell you that. And I had to take on Sean Hannity when I was in Congress and say, Sean, you're not helping us. You're not giving any hope to the citizens out there that there's anybody listening. Why aren't you putting the name up and interviewing guys like Mike Pence, Jeb Hensarling, Eric Cantor, Michelle Bachmann, and oh, by the way, me. So people say, yeah, there are some that are standing tough. You know, Democrats didn't target me. They're the top targets in the nation and spend more money, independent expenditures to defeat me than any other candidate in the nation. George Soros, Michael Moore, MoveOn.org, John Stryker didn't put the effort to defeat me and raise the money, $6 million, to defeat me for no reason. They wanted to silence my voice. Now they're going after Michelle Bachmann. She can handle it. But I want you encouraged with that, and recognize the fact that the Republican Party isn't the party of McCain anymore. It's not the party that'll put up with George W. Bush, who was great on many things, but spent too much and allowed government to grow too much. That isn't going to happen with who's leading right now. And when John Boehner was able to hold the Republican conference together on those votes, that wasn't easy. And when Eric Cantor comes out as strongly as he comes out, second in command, and Mike Pence third in command, and guys like Tom Price leading the Republican Study Committee, that's encouragement for us.